Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. So this is the last of my plants that I kept in the window. Well, except for this one right here, which broke off when I bought it, and I'm trying to root that. But I've got all of these ready to go outside. I'll take them in and out for a little while. I'm terrible with that acclimatizing. I usually just put them in the pot and hope they make it. And God has given us some great, the forecast is for it to be great ahead of us. We're going to be in the 70s, and then that will give them a chance to get used to it before we go right into 90 and 100 degree weather, which has happened before. But I just wanted you to know I'm just so excited about getting these done, and it's so wonderful. I know they don't look great, but they will once they come out of this, having stayed inside all winter long. They will just put new leaves on, be bright, pretty colors of green, shades of green and burgundy. This is a Alternanthera. So, and I'm just excited about it. I wanted to share that with you. And to my friends Melissa and Kenneth and Dave, I wanted to show you that I did manage to keep this alive through the winter. I'm so excited. And they know, they gave me some and I killed them. I was not trying. I was trying hard not to. But I don't know what I do. But anyway, I managed this time to save this, and I'll be putting it somewhere in the garden before too long. Baby girl, look at this little, quote, in quotes, little rubber plant you got me last year. Look how big she's gotten. I brought it out today, and it's this big, and it actually lost several leaves that had fallen off. I guess they just kind of shed for themselves, and grow new ones, but it's so beautiful. I love it so much. Thank you again for getting it for Mama. Love you, baby. If you haven't yet seen your first hummingbird, this one can count. I am going to try to get you some pictures when so much is blooming in the garden. I've told you this is my favorite, other than fall when everything is its most mature, has its growth and just looking so good, like it's showing off right before it knows it's going to have to leave. But it never lasts long. All the beautiful, well, of course in the fall it's going to be gone when frost comes, but right now it's just going to be gone because its season of bloom doesn't last very long. But while it's here, I'm hoping to get some of it for you, and I have been bringing inside plants out. I do better with outside plants, so the only reason I take them in the first place is so they don't die. If they're not winter hardy, I try to keep them. That's not to say that I always do. Too many things come out and never get to live again. I'm hoping this one will, but I don't have a lot of hope for it. But for the things that we do, I was thinking too that this is mine and my husband's anniversary month. And one time I was listening to a little deal on TV had Mary Lou Henner talking about photographic memory, because she remembers everything. But I remembered one thing she said, because she said the good thing about marriage is it keeps you together during those times when you fall out of love, until you fall back in love again. And not to dwell on how many times my husband and we are so opposite anyway. So we have clashes and differences and quarrels and but I told you I wasn't going to think about that. But the thing is, just think how many times we've got to fall back in love again. All the pretty perennial alyssum is going to seed now. It won't be long. There won't be any yellow left on there. But it's such a delight in the spring to have it there when not hardly anything is blooming, and there it is, just showing off. I love it. And then this is one of my little examples of something I took inside to get it to live so it wouldn't die. And unless there are roots that will come back, because it is wandering Jew and a coleus there, but it may not. I would not be surprised if it doesn't come back and I have to restart it all over again if I can. I do have a few sprigs of it that I kept in the glass in the window, but we'll see what will happen with it. I brought out my huge Jacob's ladder that Oma gave me years ago, and I thought it would never grow. It took years for it to grow, but oh my, I've had to trim it back at least twice in the fall to be able to bring it inside. And then just look, right next to it is my rubber plant, my little rubber plant that my daughter gave me. And it was beautiful when it was only 2 to 3 foot tall, but it has probably more than doubled in height. It does not do this during the winter. It just kind of sits there and waits its turn to come back outside again. But when it gets outside, it grows this height on it. So beautiful. And of course, this is some of the pots that I've done, and it won't be too long if the snails will leave it alone until it will fill this whole pot up and be over those little brick, and she'll just be sitting there on a mound of flowers looking out at us. And I wanted at least one Kong coleus, the big coleus. They're so pretty. This one is probably my second most favorite because I like that painter's palette type one with a lot of swirled colors in it, just as much or a little bit more. Maybe I didn't think I would because this was caught my eye first, but the other one, somehow it just intrigues me all season long. So I may, if I see one, get another of it, but I'm not sure how that will be. We'll see. And also, I put this little pot together. My one I had there last year has lost its rim and it's crackling and breaking like this one over here. So I'm going to get rid of these 2 pots. But I had this one out in the back, and it was on a little pedestal. But my pedestal I had it glued on there, and the glue got brittle and it came off. So I decided I would just change it out and put it here. Put my little girls over here. And a friend from church actually gave me one of these, and I found 3 more. And so of course I had to have them. You know, sisters belong together. But I do have several little pots ready, and I need to do a whole lot more. Today I'm going to get some done if at all possible. And I would like to get some hostas still to put in the ones in the back so that they come back every year and I don't have to replace them every year. That's my plan. I definitely want to make it a little easier on myself because this is, shall I say, killing me. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my Santolina. I want to give it the best chance I can. I'm thinking about putting it in a pot so that I can amend the soil with some perlite and gravel, but I'm not sure what to do with it. That usually if you put it in the ground they have a better chance. I want it to have its best chance, but a lot of my ground or my soil is definitely clay, and then some of it is red sand, so it's just not exactly the perfect thing for Santolina, but I'll figure that out. I still haven't figured it out yet. Look at this pretty little impatient. This is a New Guinea impatient. This is one of my favorite coleus here. I just love it because it's so bright and has that pretty pink and green combination. But I would like to get all of these in the ground. They're getting a little ratty looking. This is the Bacopa. And I put a blue one in the pot in the back, and it just looks so ready. I do not want them to do that. I want them to have a good chance. They did not look that way when I purchased them, but I've set them back here while the rains have been going and just watered them, and they're getting like, is she ever going to put me out where I can get some air and sun? But I talk to him and tell him, yes, I'm going to get you there as soon as I can. These are my little plants from the window, and I'm going to put some of those in today, hopefully. And although the snails devoured a lot of my Sweet William, I plan on planting some more because I love it, and my husband loves this little plant. That we've got this little display of them. And there's a little scraggly one in the pink over here. But I've been showing you all the smaller things, and I wanted to show you some of the bigger things. I'll need to trim this honeysuckle back before long. I don't want it to get so long that its little stems drop down on the ground, and then it'll take off and try to take over this whole area, and it can do it too. But hopefully I won't let that happen, but it's so pretty right now. And then we still haven't got these cut off. I've got to do that, or get my husband to if I can. But I just wanted to show you there's so much blooming. The peonies are blooming, and some of them that were almost gone anyway are starting to think about leaving for the season. The rains and winds just took them away, but we didn't have a whole lot of wind with it, so some of them were able to make it through. Let me take you over here because I want to show you this one that's well, you might want to see them all, but oh, look at this too, this pretty. I told you it would all be open soon, and there it is. And I love this yellow baptisia or false indigo, and from this angle it looks even better because it's right there with the blue salvia. It's just making a pretty backdrop for it. But what I wanted to show you, and get my shadow out of it, is this little dew-tail peony. Isn't it a beauty? And I'll soon have hollyhocks in bloom. They're already budded out. And I looked on them and I didn't see any of that disease. I took them out one time because they did have a disease, and I've left them out for a while because they say it also gets in the soil. So I'm going to hope that they will be beautiful. I love these. I don't like a whole lot of them though, because when it rains and the stalks are tall, they will fall down unless you stake them up. And and you'll have to cut all that off, and eventually you're going to have to cut all that off anyway, because it will put down seed and you won't have anything but hollyhocks. But if you just trim them before they start dropping their seed, you can just have as many as you want without having too many. And then there's this mess that I have not got around to, and I don't know when I will get around to it, because I've got to plant my little plants first. But this is some results of our 2 windstorms that we had earlier in the season. But just look at how this has filled out. It's so pretty, just so thick and beautiful. And I think I need to take a little bit of it out so it'll have plenty of room to grow. And the clematis is still blooming beautifully. And in the background there is the mock orange tree or bush. Then back over to the fence row, and I have this pretty 2-toned rose blooming. And these little pots are still looking really good too. I'm going to redo some of them though, because this one has it all toward the front and none toward the back, and then this one at the top is growing over the side, which actually that looks good. But I may take some of that and put it down in this little bare spot on the back side of this plant. I'll see. And then this one, I want to take these cocoa liners out, and I'm going to be doing that too all over the garden, and I probably won't get them all done this season. The ones that look fair I'll probably leave until next season. Oh no, my husband emptied the rain gauge and I didn't get it for you, but we had 3/4 of an inch of rain, and then we got 2 more inches, which I can't really show you, but I can imagine where it was, and it was great. And then also behind this pretty clematis, I have this pretty peachy orange creamsicle looking rose in bloom. I just love it when there's so much in bloom, and there's a pretty iris back there. One of my She Wore Blue Velvet irises are blooming, and I can't remember the names of many of my iris. And that's partly because I give them another name, and then, you know, when you think of one name, it's hard to think of the other. But this one it should have been called She Wore Blue Velvet. And this is another one of the little pots that I put together. And I know they don't look like much right now, but I'm hoping they will. I can just imagine that they will. It does not have a root yet, but it's building one. I need to put some more water on that, though. You don't want to let them go very long without water when they're building that root. But afterward, they'll be as strong as the mother plant. And this one is some of that. I was telling you that I let it get too, I let it sit back there too long. It should have been in the ground getting all that rain. But but it wasn't. But hopefully it'll come out of that and look great. And this is a pink verbena, and then this is a yellow and peachy orange lantana, and some more of the cascading artemisia. And when it grows up, I think it's going to be stunning. Speaking of stunning, look at this little stunner. And now we're getting around to where every pot needs help and needs to be filled up and to have a chance to look pretty. And I'm hoping to give it that. I'm feeling so much better than I was. I've told you that, but it's just, I can't believe sometimes how tired a person gets, to the point you don't think you'll ever be rested and not hurting again. Actually, I went in last night to go to bed. I was so tired, I thought I'll go right to sleep. And instead of relaxing, I tensed up more and more, and I had to get up and put aspartame all over just to calm it down enough that I could go to sleep. But I definitely want more things that just come back. I may put sedum or something in these that just come back. I'm not sure how I'll do that yet, but I'll figure it out. And now we're coming up on the other pot that I did back here. And it, again, you know, when you first do them, they do look scraggly, but it won't stay scraggly long, I don't think. Look at this beautiful two-tone Angelonia, and then this beautiful licorice plant. It's pretty right now, but oh, when it just puts those little trailing parts of it, like it's already started out there, they will go down. Last year they went down almost to the bottom of the pot, and they were so pretty. And then beside it I put a blue bacopa and a blue scaviola, or fan flower it's also called. So I'm thinking that this has the potential to be absolutely stunning. Now as I'm standing here, I'm thinking, you know, I should put some white alyssum around the edges too, because then it would bring the white out more in the Angelonia. So I think I'll plan to do that also. And I brought out my my bougainvillea. It's in this other pot that looks like this one. I mean, that looks like this one. But this one is my bougainvillea, and it looks so great. I mean, it just came from inside to outside, so it'll struggle for a little while, but when it blooms, it will be a beauty. Then right behind my little bougainvillea pot there, I cleaned out, see how this is all down to the bottom? I snipped all of these off so I would have a spot to put my beautiful hosta that my friend Susie got me. And I wanted it not in a pot, because all my others are in pots, practically all of them, and I just wanted to get to see how big one would grow. And she has one that's the blue color like this, that's huge, and it is so beautiful. And of course more pots that need to be filled, and more pots over here also that need to be filled, but I'll get to that. So it's not so bad when everything around you is not all ugly. Like, I know I have a lot to do, but you don't really notice it as much when it's just an empty pot as you do when it's all old, dead, ugly debris. And sometimes I look at that empty pot and just envision with what I really want in there anyway. So that I do want to actually do it, not just dream it. even though I have discovered it's true that it's way more easy to dream than it is to do. This is some of the blue columbine. This is wonderful, but if you let all of this go to seed, you'll have so much of it. I do not want that much. So when it begins to dry up, I will probably take a few seeds to save, because you never know when things can die out, or snails in my case can kill them, and I'd have to start all over again. So I definitely want a few seed of them, but I do not want them all to be coming up everywhere and more than I can handle. So I usually take those up too, or clip them off and throw this part away. Look at this beautiful rose also. There's just so much blooming and so much beauty. This little peony is just beginning to open up. I noticed one yesterday and now there's several. I'm going to go over there so you can see the little center of this also. So yes, there's one open where you can see that pretty center. And I moved some more of my salvia, black and white, or black and blue salvia in here, and it worked so prettily last year. I thought, well, it's going to be too tall, it's not going to really work here, but it did. It came up around her to reach for the sun, and then it was all around her, blooming and just swaying in the breeze and looking so pretty. And then this is my little Cinco de Mayo rose, and it's getting quite a few blooms on it today too. And this is, of course, where I already showed you that I planted blue flax, marigolds, and forget-me-nots. And then I sprinkled a few little with the blue veining petunias on there. So we'll see how that turns out. And because my blue flax does not bloom the first year, I found these tiny little sprigs coming up where I didn't want them in the front. And so I put them here, and I'm hoping that they will bloom this year, so you can see how pretty this will be. And then it also has seeds all around it, so it will hopefully fill itself out and be there ready to go next year. I'm even hoping that the marigolds will reseed themselves, and even the forget-me-nots, but we'll have to see how that will go. And then over here, another empty pot, of course, but look at this one, and it may be too beat down from the rain to see how beautiful. No, it's not. It's a little beaten, but not that much. It's so pretty. This is the purple Atto peony. Let's see if this one, how it looks. It's not quite as open, but it looks great. And then this beautiful rose, I have shown you some of it, but it did not have this many blooms at that time, and it's such a beautiful rose too. I'm pretty sure if Lacey saw this, and she would want one of it too. I don't know if it'll work, but I saw on Facebook, I believe, that someone had just clipped this off, turned it upside down, and started a flower. So I may try that for her too. I haven't so far got it to work for me by any other way. Then my next thought was just to wait till it put up a little shoot with a root on it. But in here's some more of the columbine. But yes, it's just looking so pretty. I couldn't pass up to show some of it to you. And I think this little, when it gets big, I know that it's little now, but if I can get it to where you can see it, even from here you can see it. There we go. A pretty little hosta that Susie gave me. And when it gets big, shining over there in the background, I think it's going to be great. I see my redhead collies from here too. Look at that pretty red. Another orange rose. This is a deeper orange and still kind of that creamsicle look to it. I think I might have given that gene to my niece Stacy, who passed away, because she loved orange. And I don't remember if I showed you that this little alyssum has already bloomed. Isn't that sweet? I'm going to definitely leave it as long as it'll stay, but I'm also going to put some sedum in here with this. And I love this light blue columbine too. It's so pretty. And then I put my little pillar plant right here. It won't get very wide, so it should fit in there really prettily. And I'm thinking from the other side, when the major wheeler honeysuckle bloom, that they will play off of each other for color with this orange and the burgundy orange that's in this little plant. This is another little rose that my niece Lacey said, and that one, Aunt Nancy, I want one of those. And this little rose gets so many shades of pink and white. Sometimes they're mostly all white, sometimes they're bright pink, and sometimes they're light pink. And it's just a little beauty in the garden. But I see I have another rose that went back to the old rose color. And I don't remember what color it was, but I'm sure it was a color I wanted. And I'm guessing they do this because they get too cold for they were grafted onto another root, and then they didn't make it. So the other root came up, and they usually always put it on this old rose because it's so reliable. There's nothing wrong with this rose. It's a beauty and it smells good. But I still want many colors, not just one. I was going to show my husband this because I put it out here and it only had one little tiny leaf at the top, and it was broken, and then it broke on off, and I thought, well, that one will never make it. But look at it. It is so totally going to make it if something else doesn't happen to it. So my plan is to get busy and see how much I can get done in the garden today. I got so much done yesterday, and not even just all outside, because I had plants that I had to take out of the glasses that I kept in the window all winter long, and they were getting so shabby and just terrible looking. So, it was time. And I put them in little biodegradable pots. I can bring them in and out a little bit, but I'm going to just go ahead and bring them out pretty much as soon as I get around to it. So I hope you're enjoying your gardens too. We enjoyed looking at the Oklahoma gardening on the OU campus, where they do their show, and it was wonderful to get to see that. It was really beautiful, and we got fascinated by the hostas there looking so good. You see, I think I miss getting this little clematis for you one more time. I know I've got this top part of it before because part of them are already spent, but they still have that little tuft there and still looking good. And again, well, these are the pretty pink roses that I've got climbing up here on this little arch trellis. And then I have a lighter pink over here. I was going to get the same, but they gave me a substitute. But I like it. I kind of like it, both different colors on it, actually. But again, what I was going to say is we have some more roses in the orange family. So I guess I'm like Stacy, or she's like me, that we just are drawn to orange. I didn't realize that I was, and there actually is a lot of orange in my Joseph's coat rose also. So I hope that's given you something you've enjoyed looking at. I've enjoyed showing it to you and looking at it myself. So I'm anxious to get some more done though, and I've got to get to work on it. I think I'll take this little thing out. I'm not sure. I could just paint it and put a sedum in the top of it. We'll see how that will go. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.